Right, hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Havoc and I'll be joined by Taryn. We're going to be talking with you today about Hex, the upcoming MMO TCG from Cryptozoic Entertainment. It is, the official title is Hex Shards of Fate. Quickly introduce yourself Taryn and then we'll go ahead.
Ahoy, I'm Taryn. I've been playing card games, TCGs, since I was very small. So got probably about 15 plus years of experience with Magic the Gathering, and really keen for Hex.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat. Played a lot of, fair bit of Magic the Gathering, mainly online, never really was into it in terms of, going to a card shop and that sort of stuff. That never really cropped up. I did get into it when it was the online version and played it for a couple of years. But yeah, since then, I stopped playing that a while back, and I've been just waiting for the next big thing, and Hex looks to be that next big thing. So we'll quickly show the Hex website here that we've got viewing, and just basically show you what the game is. They had actually had a Kickstarter recently, which is here, which they were very successful. Very much met their goal, as you can see. They only had a goal of 300,000, but they raised over 2.5 million, including their PayPal donations. So they definitely reached their goal, and that's a good thing for the community. So basically, what is Hex, and what does the MMO and TCG mean? So basically, it is a trading card game that they've added basically MMO features. It's not your standard MMO like World of Warcraft where you're in a third-person view running around with your hero in this world and exploring. It's still a card game, collecting cards, but it does have a lot of elements that you would from a MMO that you would expect. They've then added it and melded it with the standard TCG environment. So basically, they're going to have PvE and then PvP. So with PvE, you will actually have the option to do dungeons. There should actually be some on this Kickstarter here that I'll find. Actually, well, first you do actually have a hero that you level up during the PvE. So you've got, for example, this one here is like a paladin or something, and you level them up, which then alters the way you play your decks, and it also has things where you might get bonus cards based on what your hero has, what you've picked for the skill tree and all that sort of stuff. So you've got the standard things from an MMO where you got skill trees, leveling up system, and all that sort of stuff. What would you like to add to that, Taryn? Anything you want to say about the heroes?
Alright, well, yeah, so what Cryptozoic have gone ahead and explained is as you level up your hero, you'll gain access to certain abilities, which you'll be able to use as you actually play your card duels. So as you level up, you'll be able to, for example, the warrior there, he can fight a creature. So he'll do damage, like 1 damage to your opponent's creature, and they'll do damage to him. When you level him, you can increase the amount of damage he does to them, or reduce the amount of damage he takes, so you can really start using him to bully people around. They plan on having quite a few classes going, so you'll be able to kind of pick something nice for your unique playstyle.
Yeah, so I'll bring up the champions here so people can have a look at a few examples. Feel free to talk over me anytime, it's fine. So here we go, we've got some few champions shown. So we've got the, what's this guy called again? Oh, here we go, we've got the class system down here. So you've got Cleric, Ranger, Warlock, Mage, Rogue, and Warrior. That I think that's probably going to be the standard stuff at the start. There might be other stuff later on. So you can pick from those in the PvE based on your preference completely. You can always change it at any time and play different heroes. And they all bring all unique things to the table and play differently. And they all have their own unique charge power as well, which we'll talk about in a second. Alright, so down here we got some more examples. Alright, here we go. So we got this champion here, which is Venom Cleric. He has the charge power where once you've got 3 charges, now the way charges work is every time you play a resource in this game, similar to lands in Magic, so you play your resource, you will get a charge power per resource played, which you can only still play the one resource per turn, unless you've got other cards that allow you to do more or other things like that. So you get the 1 charge power per resource. Once this guy has built up 3 charge powers, he'll be able to then target an opposing champion, and then that champion won't be able to play cards during their next turn, or you can make it so they can't attack you during their next turn. So that's actually pretty powerful. Not stopping your opponent. This during PvE, obviously, you're stopping the AI, or possibly. I don't know if this would work against raid bosses. That would seem pretty powerful. What do you think?
Yeah, no, that would be huge. I'm not sure whether that will work. One thing to note is that Cryptozoic have made sure that anything that feels like it can be really unfun, they've kept it away from the player versus player experience because they don't want people feeling completely shut out of the game. However, they did make a special mention noting that the AI doesn't mind getting completely shut out, so expect to see a lot of fun things that would be really, really broken in any other card game in the PvE experience.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so with this example here, that actually does seem pretty powerful. Um, Not sure if it can be used against a raid boss, for example. Raid bosses are basically where it's like an MMO where you need more than just yourself to go up against it. In Hex, it's a 3-player raid. You don't have to bring in 3 people, but it'll be a very tough time if you don't. So they're designed around having you can play with your mates, so yourself and 2 other people, going up against a raid boss that is extremely hard, basically. So it might look overpowered as something that's very strong, especially if all 3 of you are running something like this. You could just keep stopping them from playing, but it may look it, but the AI could have all number of different things to just completely stomp you. Along with the fact that the AI and pretty much all the dungeons and raids, they have their own unique set of cards. So while you've got cards that you're collecting through the PvE, the AI has this, like say, I think it's over 400 cards that are all completely unique to the AI that you'll never get to touch. You won't be able to play with them. They're designed to make your life hell and make it as interesting and challenging as possible. One thing to note is that PvE is actually free to play completely. You'll never have to pay to play the PvE section of the game. It's designed in a way so that anyone can jump in. You'll go through a tutorial and basically be taught how the game works. And introduced slowly. So if you're new to this style of game, they've done a pretty good. They said basically that was the most important thing for the PvEs, to introduce the player smoothly into the experience. Let me just quickly see. So we got a thing about here with dungeons and raids. So I'll bring that up just to give you guys an idea of what the actual what it is to do a dungeon and stuff. So in this example here, it's called the Kraken's. Well, it says Kraken's Gold, but it's basically Kraken's Lair or something. You want to take the Kraken's Gold. That's the dungeon design. Okay, that doesn't actually have that, but you'd have nodes similar to how this one here has these nodes. So with this dungeon here, Junkyard Dog, you start off at the entrance, and maybe that's a battle. You fight someone, or it could be a puzzle. It could be a number of different things. They literally have endless possibilities of what's not just going to be a simple card battle each time. It could be, possibilities are endless. So who knows what they're going to do? But it's going to be a very unique experience. So it's pretty much never going to get stale, hopefully. So yeah, with this one, for example. You go through it with this. Start at the entrance and you go to the next node, and then it will reveal more of the map. Like this will be all blacked out at the start, and then as you go through, it'll reveal different paths, and based on how you did in the battle, or maybe it was a puzzle, it might unlock this path, or it might unlock this path, and it all changes based on how you do and your choices you make. Dynamically changes based on that, and then you'll get to the end, and you might fight a boss, and then you'll get loot, and obviously, everyone who likes collectibles, being a collectible card game, everyone loves their loot. So you get the loot, and then raid bosses where you get the really good loot. So that's just a quick look at a dungeon there.
So yeah, an interesting little bit note about the dungeons as well is that they Cryptozoic have made sure that what your choices can actually affect your deck or what you have to fight. For example, if you help certain people, as one of the examples they gave, he'll actually come and help you during your next fight. So he'll actually be there on the field and ready to fight for you. So there's actually benefits to thinking your way through each encounter.
Yeah, I'll see if I can actually bring up that example. It's here somewhere. They've got a lot of this is their official website, hextcg.com. They have a lot of basically all the info you could ask for. Basically, all to do with Hex, how to play, the decks, the story. It's got everything. So here's where they've been updating. They actually do have some, like this specifically what you just mentioned. It's in one of these updates here. I might just leave it. We'll just have a look at the. Actually, does have the PvP champions. So the PvP champions are actually separate from the PvE champions. The PvE champions are designed for basically the PvE, and they level up and all that sort of stuff. Whereas if that was in PvP, that would be pretty pretty hard to balance. So they've got they're basically with PvP, you've got set heroes that have a set ability, and that ability doesn't change while you're playing that game, and then you can then change. Say you build a deck that's designed around, like for example, here we got a Sapphire hero. He basically needs 2 Sapphire to use his charge power, which is 3, and then he can give creatures in that deck flight once you've met that the threshold and the 3 charges. And then once you finish that game, you can then go, I want to try a diamond deck, so you might pick this guy, and he's got a different power. So they've all got set powers for the PvP. And you can change that as freely as much as you want for all your different decks, and save the decks with the different heroes and whatnot. But the PvE will have the heroes that you level up, and you can choose different skill trees and all that sort of good stuff. The stuff you'd expect from an MMO. And yeah, obviously the game is, being an MMO, it's going to have guilds. Guilds is going to be a huge feature. Me and Taryn here, in the guild Elementary. I'm the leader of it. So this is our website here. Go ahead.
Shameless self-plug.
Well, yes, you have to mention the guild. So we're primarily an Oceanic guild, mainly members from Australia, New Zealand, and surrounding areas, but pretty much everyone is welcome. So we have got forums and all this good stuff. Everyone can come and chat. But yeah, as I say, everyone is free to join. We are going to be, it's not going to be just full-on PvP, and we're going to have people from doing all different things, from PvP to PvE, casual players to hardcore players like myself. I'm going to be doing a lot of PvP, a lot of drafting, and all that sort of good stuff. But we have members from all casuals and so on. So there's room for pretty much everyone. So yeah, that's enough for the
Another
guild.
thing.
Yep, go ahead.
Oh, accepting that we are on having guild tournaments, since it seems Cryptozoic have said yes, we'll be able to do guild tournaments and things like this. We'll be hopefully running quite a few in-guild things, which is another reason to get involved, as well as organising some raid groups if people need help finding some people to help them with the dungeon or a raid. That's all on there as well.
Yeah, and another good thing about guilds is the fact that you have a guild bank. So say, for example, I have a lot of cards and I've built a good deck and I want to share it with the guild so they can try it out. You can put your deck that you've built into the guild bank. Then another member in the guild might then basically click on that deck and say, oh, okay, I want to try it out. So then they can verse someone within the guild with that deck and try it out and see how it is, and then leave comments on your deck within the guild bank and say, this was good, but maybe this needs improving, and so on and so forth. And that adds that more to the guild environment, so everyone can help each other out. You can do lots of testing, and basically, because deck building is it's a game upon itself. You can do it. That's half the fun, is building a good deck and then tweaking it and changing it and updating all that sort of stuff. So that's a pretty good feature they've added for the guilds. But yeah, then the tournaments, that you can run your own tournaments with prizes that you set yourself, and so we're going to be doing all that sort of stuff. We're heavily involved in making sure the guild experience is good for everyone, and there's something for everyone to do, regardless if you're playing PvP or PvE. We'll be heavily involved in pretty much all avenues, so that's pretty good reasons to join. And we'll have prizes and stuff. We'll probably even have tournaments where you can enter for free, and we'll still give out prizes for those who place in the top and that sort of stuff. But that's all to be decided when that game is actually launching. And speaking of launching, the game it's not coming out yet, but the alpha is starting for those who back the Kickstarter, which is here. So they've got the alpha starting this month, September. So it's going to be probably towards the end of the month, and then the alpha will run probably for